So picture this for a moment, but imagine you're a humans versus zombie player. You're a human right now, you have to protect yourself against the zombies, you have NERF blasters and everything to do such things, and maybe you're on a mission, or maybe you're doing something where you kind of want to have full movement on your hands, be able to do everything, bend over, do all your stuff without a blaster getting in your way or having a sling bouncing around or anything like that, but you want to have a full-sized, primary, comfortable, rifle-sized blaster, or maybe you just want to have a spare in case something goes wrong so you don't have to rely on some kind of small secondary. That's a thing that happens, and honestly, there isn't a whole lot of ways to do something like that, unless you had like a sling or something like that, but imagine if there was a way to very conveniently have a blaster located on your back, locked in place where it's not going to go anywhere, unless you pull on this little ring right here, and draw your blaster with a satisfying ching. Yeah, this is about the coolest thing ever, and I'm more than happy to tell you more about it because it's one of the most ridiculous and expensive purchases I've ever made. Ever. This is pretty bad, but it's really cool. So let me validate my purchase and hopefully inspire you to maybe think about something else kind of like this. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Before we get too far into things, please do not leave a comment down below asking me if this will work with X Blaster, with Y stock, Z barrel, and Q optics, because I don't have time to answer those questions. I don't have time to come out here and test it. We'll talk about what kind of things will fit in this and what probably won't, but please use your best judgment, because I will test a couple of different things and I'll show you exactly what we're talking about, but there's going to be an infinite number of blasters out there that will probably, some of them will fit and some of them won't. But what exactly is this? Why did I purchase it? What is it for? And so forth. Well, this is the Vorn Equipment Lynx. This is their mid-sized version of their quick weapon deployment system thingy. It's meant for hunters. It's not meant for NERF. When they made this thing, they never imagined that a massively overweight nerd would be buying it to use it for something like humans versus zombies in a play scenario, but here we are. And yes, I did buy this specifically for being HVZ gear, because I think something like this will be relatively useful. Well, we'll find out as, practice comes to show, but honestly, from what I've seen so far, it's just a matter of finding uses for it, and that's it. Because from what I've used, it works perfectly, and this is a backpack with, it's basically like a hiker's backpack or something. Got all sorts of straps and stuff on it, but the big kicker here is that on the straps right here, there is this little loop right here, and when you pull that, it releases, and you'll see it kind of look right there, it releases these clips. Now, I don't have gravity to help me right now, so that's a little less than impressive, but when you pull that, it releases it, and you can draw what you have stored in the taco shell fold here, which in my case is a red long shot. Fit perfectly fine, so that's a clue of the kind of stuff that will fit back here. And really, the only issue is that you gotta make sure that your blaster isn't too short. It's basically rifle shaped, and the actual blaster body itself is shorter than the stock to this distance right here. So basically anything that is rifle shaped. So if I have like a Spring Thunder, that will fit in here just perfectly fine. Even though it does kind of get in the way a little bit, it's still a relatively simple shape, and those will clip and it will work perfect. But if I try to put something in here that's too short, like say, here's this Sentinel right here, this is physically too short. It's just gonna fall down in there. It won't work. And while I might be able to adjust it by tightening up the stock end right here so the stock doesn't go nearly as far down, I may be able to get me to hold this up, really, if it's shorter than this, it's not going to work. So keep that in mind. I will get actual measurements for you on screen so you can have a good guess. And, well, that's kind of the entire point of this pack, other than it being a very comfortable, nice, convenient backpack. So these little zips right here down at the bottom are actually your main access into the entire pack. I just unzip these, and I have access to every single thing in here, and it's quite a bit of space. I believe this is 12 liters is what it was measured in. Haven't even removed that yet. We'll just stuff that in there. It's got one separate pouch right there, then the big body, and then you can also unzip these zippers right here, and that will expand the volume, and then you can adjust these straps accordingly and get yourself up to 20 liters of volume, which again, I have no idea how much that actually is, because, I mean, whatever. I mean, I guess that means if I'm putting like a hydration pouch in here, if I'm putting in a 3-liter hydration pouch, well, it will take up 3 of my 20 liters, so that's something to keep in mind, I guess. And yes, this will work with your typical hydration pouch stuff, because there is a little hole right here for the hose from that to come through, and you can mount that wherever on your other strap. I would assume you probably want to run that over to here, but that is a thing you can do. And then the only other pockets you really have is this one right here, which is just a small little mesh pouch that you can store some stuff into. It's not technically a waterproof pack, although it is water resistant. This soft, almost felt fiber on the outside is moisture wicking, which is important, so that's nice to know. And I bought the one that is bright orange with some kind of camo on it, because that way it doesn't look like a real military thing. It's nice and safe and bright, and everybody knows it's there, and that's kind of what I thought was important, because I don't really like having all black tactical gear and stuff like that. In fact, I try to make my gear not black on purpose. Then you've got these straps on the sides right here. These are actually what go around your entire waist, and yes, this does fit me. I know, I'm just as surprised as you are. If you're any bigger than me, probably won't fit, so use your judgment, because I am quite a large person. I am massively overweight, and it happens to fit me, but these are pretty much at their exact maximum. So keep that in mind. And on these straps, there is a bunch of MOLLE. So you can attach magazine holders, or more importantly, pistol holders, and those will be located right at your hips, which is mighty important. We've also got another set of clips up here at the top for keeping the straps in place while you're moving, so they don't slide off your shoulders or anything like that. Works pretty good. It's one side's like nice and stretchy and really maneuverable, and then the side can be fitted to whatever you happen to need, and that's just to keep, again, the straps close together and keep this pulley exactly where you need it. And there is some MOLLE material right here to attach stuff to if you need to. Then you've got nice, big, huge cushions right here, which make it feel like you're not wearing anything at all.
It allows for maximum mobility. Feels like I'm wearing nothing at all.
Quit it! Which is great. Nice big cushion up here. This is apparently adjustable through right here. I have no idea how that works. I have not tested it, but I assume this Velcro stuff will shift this whole pack up and down to move it on your body wherever it happens to be comfortable. And really, that's about all it is. It just lets you hold a blaster and do a quick release, and it's really useful, and that kind of brings to question why you would spend the obscene amount of money to buy something like this, because I paid, this was on sale, that's one of the reasons why I got this, but I paid $200 for this pack. And they can go up to $300, $440, if depending on what size you get. There's one way bigger than this, which I obviously don't need because I'm not doing any kind of day hunting trips, camping that requires me to hold like a tent and materials and stuff like that to do that for a long period of time. And the shortest one is actually pretty cool because that one actually does let you do like you can remove this whole backing plate and put it on something else because it's all MOLLE compatible, which, you know, for a lot of people that'd be great, but for me, I didn't really need something like that because I didn't have anything to attach it to. So if you don't want to have the backpack portion, you just wanted the quick release portion, you could buy that, but it's basically was the same price as this one. So I just got this one in this bright color, which I didn't even realize there was any kind of tree camo on it, but whatever. Really, that doesn't make any sense to me because it's bright orange. What is the point of putting camo on this? So the way this works is really simple. If I want to put this blaster back, I'll have to unclip this, unclip the one around my waist, take off one side, sling the pack in front of me, and put the blaster in, usually stock first because that's kind of the easiest way to set it in there. Pull this sleeve up a little bit. Sometimes you get lucky and it's already out of the way. And you can tell it's not quite meant to do this, but it works out reasonably fine. Just snap it into place. And I'm sure I can get faster at that the more I do it. I've only done it a couple of times now, but it's honestly not that bad. In fact, this pack even fits me. It's a miracle in and of itself, but now I'm ready to go. And again, let's say I'm doing my own thing and I have to do something really quick. I am ready to fire and be in the midst of combat, and usually I can just keep this, and I could keep a sling on this if I wanted to, but I can keep this up, do my thing, and then one more time, simply undo these two clips, which again, hopefully I'll get faster at the more I do it. Bring my pack around, take my blaster here, and stuff it right in there, and clip it into place. All things considered, I'm only going to get faster at it the more I do it, and even doing it right now, that's honestly not too bad. That's probably a lot easier if you're not a big guy like me, and everything just kind of fits you naturally. Well, there we go. It is locked in place, not going anywhere. Then one more time, I draw it, and I'm already firing. About 2 seconds, if that, to take this thing out. And taking it out is the important part. And it's supposed to be a really high-quality backpack. I'm not a backpack reviewer, so I couldn't really tell you, but so far, every stitch seems to be really good. There are a couple of places where there's some thread right here that could have possibly been trimmed a little bit more, but overall, it's really freaking nice. And I bought this because I wanted a way to not only hold all of my magazines, all of my darts, a hydration pouch and everything like that, camera equipment and everything, but also hold a blaster because I don't want to always have to have a carry blaster, like have a blaster in my hands or anything like that. And I don't always want to have to worry about a blaster bouncing up and down against me as I'm walking because it's really annoying. I can fill this entire backpack up and I won't even feel it.
Just feels like I'm wearing nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Stupid sexy Flanders.
Now, I could build something like that. As you might remember, I was building a battle backpack before, and while that did work, it was extremely cumbersome, very uncomfortable, and that wasn't really kind of gonna work. And I'd rather build everything off this if I have to than build something from scratch, because I can't make anything remotely as comfortable or nice as this. So, is this useful to everyone? No. This is basically meant for hunters. Airsofters probably won't even find a use for this at all either, even though it would work with a lot of airsoft guns as well. But for somebody who's doing like long HVZ stuff, yeah, suddenly this gets to be really useful. And if you wanted to go to like maybe you're biking to an event or something like that near you, a NERF event, you want to throw blasters and darts and gear and stuff in here, you can. So instance, if I'm traveling to a destination, now I can throw all of my gear and stuff in here. I can even leave my entire blaster and all the mags and batteries and everything I would need in one pouch that I can just wear on my back, and then I can deploy it whenever I need to, which is incredibly useful in my opinion. And I won't lie, it just feels really cool to pull the blaster, just whip it off your back so easily, start shooting. I really like video games where you get to do that, and it's really hard to do that in real life. Like, you could do something similar if you have like a holster setup, like what Armored Nerf has, but my issue with that is that I'm huge, and those are also very expensive, and I mean, I don't know, this seemed like a cooler idea to me. And with me being so big, it probably wouldn't have worked. I mean, I have limited maneuverability getting around to my back as is, so yeah, I can't secondary a Prometheus or anything like that, but for what I need, this should work perfectly fine, because I can have a pistol on here if I absolutely need insane quick access to a blaster, but at the same time, it doesn't take very long to draw something from this. So yeah, kind of a weird thing, and no, I wasn't paid for this. I bought this with, well, your guys' money, because I was donated a lot of money, and I figured this is something that would be relatively interesting, and a few people probably saw something like this and had the same question I did, and hopefully I've answered that. But if you have any other comments or concerns, let me know down in the comments section below, as long as it's not asking me if a specific blaster will fit in this. It's extremely customizable, but again, use your best judgment. I'm really happy with it. To be perfectly honest, this is like the coolest thing I've gotten in a very long time. Let me know what you think about the Vorn equipment Lynx down in the comment section below. Did I just waste a bunch of money, or do you think this is one of the coolest things ever? I'd love to get your feedback, because honestly, I don't see myself never going without something like this. I'm really excited to give this a field test coming up really soon. I'm Walcom S7, thank you very much for watching this video, and of course, I hope to see you in an entirely different one. And I thought this was pretty different. I mean, it's not every day I do gear reviews.
You gotta